Joseph, how much of a fan were you of the previous 2 movies in the series, and what was your reaction on being asked to join a part of cinema history?
Yeah, I was a massive fan of the first 2 movies. I remember when Batman Begins came out, and I thought to myself, oh, the guy who made Memento is making a Batman movie. That's interesting. I'll go see that. And I loved it. And then The Dark Knight was just, come on, it's one of the coolest things ever in the cinema. So I was just at first a little shocked, and then just grateful and honored to be asked in.
And your character, John Blake's a newcomer to the trilogy. What can you tell us about this fresh-faced cop?
John Blake, yeah, he's a rookie in the Gotham City Police Department, and I would call him an idealist. Gotham has become a sort of a cynical place. It's been 8 years since the last movie ended, and Batman has been nowhere to be seen. The status quo has set in, the rich getting richer, no one asking a lot of questions. But Blake is the kind of guy that will raise his hand and doesn't mind ruffling a few feathers.
Absolutely, yeah. And you mentioned that Batman's been absent for 8 years, and I think we're given a real sense of that as an audience, because we're sort of held back from seeing him in the movie, aren't we, for quite some time. I just wondered what it was like for you on your first day facing Bale as the Bat.
When he was actually in the suit, it's phenomenal, man. You know, so much of the magic that happens in movies nowadays happens after the fact. They do it with computers later, which makes it tough for an actor because you're not dealing with the real thing. But Chris Nolan really likes to make things real. It was that way on Inception, and is that way in this movie too. And there's no digital effects happening with that batsuit. It really looks like that, and it feels like you're in a movie.
Luckily, you're one of his allies, so he's not coming at you. There's a great connection between your character and Commissioner Gordon, played by Gary Oldman in the movie. Just how would you assess their relationship for us?
Well, it was really reflective of mine and Gary's real-life relationship, in that I looked up to him as an actor, you know, for so many of his roles. And Blake, I think, looks up to Commissioner Gordon as a police officer and as a guy that always wanted to be a police officer. Yeah,
no, he really is one of our finest talents, and obviously exported to the US as well. And when Blake visits Wayne Manor for the first time, he practically berates Bruce, doesn't he? He's not in a kind of great place in his life. What does he make of these old-timers that surround him in Gotham, that are almost sort of thrown in the towel?
Well, yeah, he's not willing to give up. He's someone who will stick to his guns and really fight for what he believes in, and doesn't want to see Bruce Wayne or anybody else give up on Gotham.
There's a huge emotional undertow, I think, in The Dark Knight Rises, but obviously some spectacular action sequences. I just wondered if there's a couple of moments in the film, maybe one that particularly blew your socks off as an action set piece, and one that maybe really hit you hard emotionally.
As far as action, I think just watching the fights between Batman and Bane. I mean, Tom Hardy's a real fighter. He trains. You know, I've known him since Inception. He was training then. And he can really fight, and you can tell. And it's great to watch a fight between Batman and a villain and not know who's going to win.
And as you say, we have these huge set pieces, and obviously a lot of people will go and see this movie on an IMAX canvas, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to like a knuckle-to-knuckle, eye-to-eye fist fight, I think that's really satisfying to watch as a cinema goer.
Sure, well, and especially once you really care about the people, and it's not just a fight for a fight's sake, but it's a necessary part of the story.
You mentioned it's your second time working with Christopher Nolan. How well do you think he taps into current sort of fears in the world that a lot of us have about terrorism and, as you mentioned, the rich getting richer?
Mm-hmm. I think that he's made a movie that will start a lot of conversations, and that's perfect. That's what you want out of a movie. It's not the kind of thing that hits you over the head with a moral message or anything, but just asks a lot of questions, and it's provocative. It'll provoke, you know, your thoughts.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.